This question comes out of that experience. Somebody asked this. They said, recently on the daily prayers, I heard Ed say this. He said, on Saturday, we take a Sabbath break. Then we come together to worship on Sunday to remember the Lord's resurrection. I've always said that Sunday was the Sabbath. Is that right? Is Sabbath an Old Testament command that we don't even need to think about, not working and all those kinds of things? Or is it something that followers of Jesus should have as a part of their lives? And then they end it by saying, thanks for the podcast and thanks for answering questions.
Oh,
so you are very welcome.
You,
so we're going to answer your question right now. So Ed, since you're the one that said that, we'll let you describe what you meant by that.
Yeah, well, what I meant by, historically, the Sabbath was Saturday. It's from Friday night, 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. that's the way the Jewish Sabbath worked. Mm-hmm. And so it is technically a Saturday thing, but in the overall thing, it does mean a break from what you normally do.
It means rest.
It's a rest, mm-hmm. It's a stopping, and it's coming to a place where you do something different to focus your mind in a different way, and they would stop work and everything, particularly to focus and worship God. Mm-hmm. So when I said that, what I was meaning is we're doing this 5 days a week. We stop on Saturday. It's a Sabbath rest, really, for us. Not that we don't pray on Saturday, but we're not leading you in pray. Then we prepare for the first day of the week, which, the Christians then took Sunday because that was the day of the Lord's resurrection. Mm-hmm. And they actually called it the eighth day. In the early day of Christianity, they were known as eighth day people because it was a whole new era. Yeah. It wasn't, there had only been 7 days a week. Now there's an eighth day. It's the new day. It's the day of the Lord. Yeah. And so that's why Sunday is now when Christians around the world typically worship.
And I would address part of the question that you asked said, is that whole Sabbath thing, is that just an Old Testament thing, we can throw it away and New Testament Christians don't need it? I would say if you mean in terms of, is it a law that we must follow, then the answer is no. But the concept of Sabbath rest carries over to believers today, and it's something that I believe it again, not in the sense that it is a new law or a law that we should follow, but a rhythm of life that God gave us as a gift. Yeah, Jesus himself, when the scholars would come at him, if you read your Gospels and say, you can't do this on the Sabbath, you're breaking the Sabbath, and they would get hard on the law, Jesus would say, now guys, let's all remember the people weren't made for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was given to you for people. And what he was saying was, God gave this to you as a gift. This is a benevolent, loving, gracious God who says, hey, take a day off. Mm-hmm. Take some time because you need it. Yep. Even God, now let's all be honest, because we know how to read the Bible. God don't need to rest, right? But God did. Right. So what is he trying to tell us through that? The whole creation story, and God rested on the seventh day. That was, again, an accommodation that our Father was saying to us, let me show you how to do life and receive life from it, rather than just beating yourself to death for 7 whole days without any stopping. You weren't made for that.
Yeah, and I don't know if anybody else has this. I have, either because of the way I'm raised or personality or whatever, I have a very hard time not being productive.
That's right.
My body, my mind, my spirit is conditioned toward even on days when I have days off and I'm just going to try to take it easy, if I do that too much, I begin to think of, I should do something. Isn't there something I can do to make a difference?
There's something wrong with you if you don't.
Yeah, I just sort of feel like that. But when I really do it, there is a rest that comes to me, and it reminds me, world went on okay. I didn't do anything that really helped anybody. I didn't really do anything that moved anything forward. And God was okay, and the world was okay, and people moved forward. And it reminded me, I'm not really in charge of everything that happens around here.
That's a great benefit. And I've known some people in just some really, probably in some really fundamental kind of ways of interpreting this whole Sabbath thing is now they've said, well, we're Christians, so the Sabbath is not on Saturday night. Now it's Sunday, and you can't work and do all this stuff on Sunday. And again, I would just go back to that whole thing of, this is not a rule, this is not a law, this is something that was given for you, and I think we all need Sabbath. So if you take a Sabbath on Sunday afternoon, or maybe your off days. My off days is a Friday.
Right.
And so I tend to not do much on a Friday, but sometimes I do.
Right.
But there's a rhythm in my life where I am taking time for, like you said, to be non-productive.
Right.
To just allow God's world to just spin.
Right.
And me not have to try and make it so. That's the point that whole concept of Sabbath was given for. And I think that's the way we should look at it as New Testament Christians today.
Yeah. And we have to remember the Sabbath wasn't originally in place. It didn't come about through Moses and the law. It was in place long before the law.
Sure it was. Yeah.
So it goes back to creation.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope that answers your question. That we, what Ed said when he used that as an example was just in that spirit. I guess
That's what I was trying to get to.
All right.